What you're about to hear sounds like something pulled straight out of a political thriller. Hacked Wikipedia pages, alleged search engine manipulation, mysterious deaths, powerful families, global connections. But instead of reacting emotionally, we need to slow down and separate three things very carefully: verified facts, documented allegations, and internet-fueled speculation. Let's start with what is publicly established. Jeffrey Epstein was a financier who was convicted in 2008 in Florida for soliciting prostitution from a minor and later arrested again in 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges. He died in jail in August 2019 while awaiting trial. His case has generated enormous public distrust, speculation, and scrutiny, partly because of his connections to wealthy and powerful individuals. Now, regarding the claim about hacking Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a publicly editable platform. Pages are frequently modified, vandalized, corrected, and locked. High-profile pages, especially controversial figures like Epstein, are typically protected by administrators. Edits can be traced through IP logs and editor histories. Over the years, investigative journalists have found that many public figures, politicians, corporations, PR firms have attempted to modify Wikipedia entries to improve reputation. That's not unique to Epstein. It's unfortunately common in reputation management. However, there is a major difference between someone editing or attempting to manipulate a page, a verified coordinated criminal conspiracy, and an email circulating online that claims dramatic internal hacking. When it comes to the alleged email describing search engine manipulation, that's actually more plausible in concept than people realize. Reputation management firms do use SEO tactics to bury negative results. That includes creating positive articles, boosting unrelated names with similar keywords, building link networks, using content farms, monitoring Google alerts. This isn't sci-fi, it's standard digital PR practice. Questionable ethically, yes. Illegal automatically, not necessarily. Criminal, only if laws are broken. Now let's address the more explosive part. The alleged individual who hacked Wikipedia, later found dead at the bottom of a cliff in France. Whenever you hear hacker connected to Epstein found dead, you have to immediately ask, what is the person's full verified name? Is there an official police report? Was the death ruled accident, suicide, homicide, or undetermined? Is this claim coming from primary sources or social media threads? There have been multiple cases over the years where online communities connect unrelated deaths to Epstein without confirmed evidence. Southern France, cliff deaths, mysterious circumstances, those elements are dramatic, but dramatic does not equal coordinated assassination. As of publicly available reporting, there is no widely confirmed official finding that a known Wikipedia hacker for Epstein was murdered. Now let's talk about the Maxwell angle. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted in 2021 for sex trafficking crimes connected to Epstein. She is currently serving a federal prison sentence. That part is factual. You mentioned Isabel Maxwell. That's important. Isabel Maxwell is indeed the sister of Ghislaine Maxwell. She has worked in technology and cybersecurity sectors and has had associations with companies and conferences, including events connected to the World Economic Forum ecosystem. World Economic Forum is a global policy organization that hosts annual meetings in Davos. It includes thousands of business and political leaders. Being associated with it does not automatically imply criminal activity. Many executives, academics, and tech entrepreneurs participate. Now here's where narratives can spiral. When people see Epstein, a Maxwell, a tech entrepreneur, an Israeli internet company, a mysterious death. The brain starts drawing lines. Humans are pattern-seeking. We connect dots even when some dots are missing, but correlation is not proof of coordination. It's critical to distinguish between documented criminal activity, Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell convictions, reputation management efforts, common among elites, and speculative claims of assassinations or global coordination. The search engine manipulation email you referenced, if authentic, demonstrates something very specific: reputation management through SEO flooding. That is ethically disturbing, but not automatically proof of murder plots. Now let's address the cliff death claim carefully. There have been individuals in France and elsewhere who had business, personal, or romantic links to people orbiting Epstein or the Maxwell family. Some died under unusual circumstances, but unusual does not equal proven elimination. In high-profile cases, especially when wealth and politics are involved, every death becomes suspect. That's a natural reaction. But without forensic confirmation, it remains suspicion. One of the most dangerous dynamics in the Epstein story is that it blends real corruption with speculative expansion. Epstein absolutely had powerful connections. There were documented failures in the justice system. There were plea deals widely criticized. There were institutional blind spots. But when speculation outruns documentation, it weakens legitimate accountability. Because once the narrative becomes, they control everything, they kill anyone, they manipulate all systems, then it becomes unfalsifiable. And unfalsifiable claims cannot be proven, which ironically protects real wrongdoing from being cleanly prosecuted. The verified story is already disturbing. A wealthy financier abused minors. Powerful people associated with him. A controversial plea deal occurred in 2008. He died in federal custody. His associate was convicted. That alone is serious. Now, regarding the alleged hacking and blocking IP addresses, that part of the email, if real, suggests someone claiming to interfere with Wikipedia editing. But Wikipedia infrastructure is highly monitored. Blocking IP addresses across the platform isn't something a random contractor can permanently control without administrator-level access. That would require significant breach, and there would likely be public documentation. So the key question becomes, has any mainstream investigative body confirmed this hack? Or is the email simply being reposted without forensic verification? When analyzing explosive claims, you look for court records, police statements, named investigators, independent verification, multiple credible news outlets. Without that, we're in the realm of allegation. And here's the reality. Epstein's story is disturbing enough without adding unverified assassinations and global secret control narratives. If there was coordinated search engine manipulation, that is plausible and ethically troubling. If there were attempts to clean up Wikipedia, that is plausible and historically common among controversial figures. If someone connected socially to a Maxwell died in France, that may be tragic and mysterious. But connecting all of those into a singular proven global conspiracy requires evidence beyond shock value. Now let's move deeper, not into speculation, but into structure. Because the real story here isn't just about one email, one alleged hacker, or one suspicious death. The real story is about how power protects itself and how information is shaped, suppressed, amplified, or distorted in the digital age. First, let's address something important. Reputation management around Jeffrey Epstein absolutely would have been a priority for anyone in his position after 2008. When he entered a controversial plea deal in Florida, his public image shifted permanently. From that point forward, his name was tied to criminal conduct. Wealthy individuals in that position don't just sit back and accept reputational collapse. They hire attorneys, they hire PR firms, they hire digital consultants. That's standard crisis response. Search engine manipulation, sometimes called online reputation management or ORM, is a real industry. Firms use tactics like publishing optimized articles to outrank negative coverage, creating alternate keyword associations, generating backlinks to push certain pages higher, flooding search results with unrelated but similarly named individuals. If the email you referenced is authentic, it describes classic SEO flooding. Creating massive amounts of links to other people with the same name is textbook dilution strategy. Is it deceptive? Yes. Is it illegal automatically? Not necessarily. Is it proof of a murder conspiracy? No. Now here's where narratives often escalate. When people discover that information was intentionally manipulated, they jump to, what else are they hiding? That instinct isn't irrational. Powerful people have hidden things before, institutions have covered things up before. That's historically documented, but there's a difference between acknowledging corruption and assuming omnipotent coordination. Let's talk about the Maxwell connection again. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted in federal court. That is verified. Her association with Epstein was central to the prosecution's case. Isabel Maxwell, her sister, has had a career in technology and cybersecurity. She has participated in conferences and initiatives connected to global policy spaces like the World Economic Forum. Now, here's where the human brain does something powerful and dangerous. It sees sex trafficking scandal, elite family, tech entrepreneur sister, global forum, Israeli internet company, alleged mysterious death in France, and it builds a web. But here's the key question. Is there documented evidence that Isabel Maxwell participated in or facilitated criminal conduct connected to Epstein? As of publicly available court records, no. Association does not equal participation. Elite networks overlap constantly. Finance overlaps with tech. Tech overlaps with policy forums. Policy forums overlap with governments. Governments overlap with law enforcement. That interconnectedness can look sinister. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just how global power networks function. Now let's address the cliff death again. Deaths near cliffs in southern France are not rare. Accidents happen. Suicides happen. Occasionally, homicides happen. But in high-profile orbit cases, the absence of clarity becomes a vacuum, and vacuums get filled with speculation. The most important phrase in investigations is ruled by authorities as if a death is officially ruled accidental or suicide, you can question it, but you need counter evidence, not intuition. Without autopsy contradictions, witness testimony, forensic anomalies, judicial inquiry, it remains suspicion. Now here's where things get complicated. The Epstein case damaged public trust profoundly. His 2008 plea deal created outrage. His 2019 death in federal custody intensified suspicion. Surveillance cameras malfunctioned. Guards failed protocol. That created a permanent fracture in public confidence. When trust collapses, people assume the worst in every connected situation. That's psychologically understandable. But here's the danger. If every unexplained event becomes proof of a coordinated elite kill network, then actual provable corruption gets diluted inside exaggerated claims. Accountability requires precision. If someone manipulated Wikipedia, show the edit logs. If someone manipulated Google results, show the archive search results. If someone hacked IP addresses, show forensic documentation. If someone was murdered, show autopsy disputes. Otherwise, you're building a narrative that can't survive legal scrutiny. And here's the irony. Real corruption thrives when accusations become too broad, because then powerful people can dismiss everything as conspiracy theory, even the parts that are true. Now let's talk about information warfare. In the digital age, stories don't spread based on verified hierarchy. They spread based on emotional intensity. Shock travels faster than nuance. A headline like, "Hacker linked to Epstein found dead at cliff," will circulate infinitely faster than unverified claims circulate about deceased individual in France. That doesn't mean people are stupid. It means platforms reward outrage. When you combine a convicted sex offender, a wealthy global network, a controversial death, alleged digital manipulation, you have the perfect storm for viral amplification. But virality is not verification. Now here's what is responsible skepticism. Question institutional transparency. Demand release of documents. Scrutinize plea deals. Analyze financial networks. Investigate systemic failures. That's legitimate inquiry. What crosses the line into speculation is assuming coordinated murder without forensic evidence, treating association as proof, inferring global control without documentation. The Epstein case deserves serious investigation. It does not need embellishment because the verified elements are already severe. A financier with powerful connections committed crimes against minors. He received a controversial plea agreement. He died in custody under highly questionable supervision. His associate was convicted. Documents remain partially sealed. That is enough to justify public scrutiny. The moment you add unsupported assassination narratives, you weaken the foundation of accountability. Here's the bottom line. Reputation manipulation, plausible. Wikipedia edits, plausible. SEO flooding, plausible. Elite interconnectedness, real. Unconfirmed cliff murder tied to global conspiracy, not proven. If new documents emerge with forensic backing, that changes the conversation. Until then, responsible analysis separates documented fact, supported allegation, and speculation. The Epstein story is disturbing because of what we know, not because of what we can imagine. And in cases involving powerful figures, credibility is your strongest weapon. Lose credibility and you lose leverage. Maintain precision and accountability has a chance.